So, do you know what the best integer between 1 and 10 is? It's 3. It's objectively the number 3, and if you think anything else, then you're just wrong. I tried calling the number 3 to see if he wanted to help me make this video, and all I got was the answering machine reminding me there's a restraining order and I'm not supposed to be calling him anymore, yada yada yada. Anyways, long story short, I ended up convincing the number 7 to help me. As you might be able to tell, he just got out of rehab, so give him some slack, as some of these rankings are kinda stupid. Anyways, yeah, today we're ranking every single LEGO Star Wars set whose piece count ends in the number 7. For the sake of my sanity, we're not counting stuff like poly bags, foil bags, or promos, just like actual LEGO Star Wars sets. And I want to keep this video under 20 minutes long, so we're gonna move kinda quickly here. Coming in dead last with 87 pieces is the 4+ ATST. The 4+ line of LEGO Star Wars is typically regarded as the worst that LEGO Star Wars has to offer, and this 4+ ATST is typically regarded as the worst of the 4+ set, so I feel like there should be no gripes about this one coming in dead last. And then for all of the same reasons, we've got the 4+ TIE Fighter here at second to dead last, although that printed control panel is pretty cool. With the 4+ sets out of the way, now we can get to the real start of the list. At number 58, we've got the original Star Destroyer Microfighter, and by number 58, I of course meant to say number 57. The Star Destroyer itself isn't all that bad, but I'm just not a fan of that old hat design, and, well, I mean, they introduced the newer hat design later that year anyways. I don't get why they just didn't put it on this one. Maybe the mold wasn't ready yet. I don't know. In 57th spot, we've got another Microfighter. This time it's the Resistance X-Wing. Props for that nice dual molded helmet on the figure there, but the X-Wing itself just doesn't look all that great, even for a Microfighter. Then we have what is, interestingly, the only buildable figure whose piece count ends in a 7. That is Chirrut Imwe from Rogue One. He might be a little bit cursed, but he's not as cursed as some of the other ones. Then we have what is definitely the ugliest ATST out there, but the leg function is actually really cool, so I didn't put it down at like the bottom, just because the leg function is so cool. And speaking of ugly, if the Stormtrooper is not your least favorite helmet set, then I'm sorry, I don't know what you're doing with your life, man. The Dark Trooper is also an acceptable answer to that question, but this one is just awful. One that I actually think is pretty good is the Dewback and Escape Pod Microfighter. The Dewback looks a little bit weird, but comes with some good figures. The Escape Pod is cool, so it's okay. Same thing with this Vulture Droid Microfighter. It looks a little bit chunky, but it was one of the original Microfighters, and I kind of have some nostalgia for this one, even though I never owned it. As for this Snowspeeder Microfighter, I actually really like the fact that they gave him a unique helmet. I thought that was really cool. Same thing goes for this X-Wing Microfighter. You know, the Microfighters obviously aren't LEGO's big money makers, but it's always nice to see them pay some attention to detail, even for the small things. And speaking of small things, I actually think that this is one of the better advent calendars that they've made for LEGO Star Wars. Like, it actually came with some good stuff. And now, please don't kill me for this, but I hate the 2006 Star Destroyer. Like, I get that it had some remarkable playability, but like, it just looks bad. I don't think that anybody in their right mind can look at this and say, yeah, that aged well, because it did not. It might be bigger than what we get nowadays, but in my book, that counts for zilch. The Imperial Inspection set, on the other hand, while it certainly didn't age the best, it aged a lot better than that Star Destroyer did, especially those Stormtrooper minifigures. Likewise, the 6212 X-Wing Fighter didn't age all that well, but at the very least it doesn't make my eyes want to vomit, so it's got that going for it. And same goes for the original UCS Snowspeeder set. This one actually aged pretty decently. Like, it's got a lot of studs on it, and the front sloping looks a little bit weird, but overall, like, it's not horrible. Obviously, I don't think that they could release something that looks like this today, but at the very least did not age like a dead dog. Speaking of dead dogs, the Yavin 4 Planet set is completely unrelated to K9s, but it's still a pretty cool looking set, and I wish that they would bring back the Planet series concept. I thought that it was so cool. Also unrelated to K9s is General Grievous's Combat Speeder. This thing was so oversized. Like, this should have been a small side build in a different overall set, like maybe an AAT or something. The speeder itself looks fantastic, I just wish that they had gone with a different scale. The Droid Escape Pod from 2012, while I certainly think is a much better playset than the one that we just looked at, I don't think it looks as good. It just looks a little bit bland. The Endor Battle Pack from the same year, however, was actually pretty awesome. I love the Versus Battle Pack concept. I'm glad that they brought it back, albeit at a more expensive price. And speaking of bringing things back, I feel like we're a little bit overdue for a proper Tantive UCS set remake. The 2019 Tantive, while it's one of my all-time favorite sets, wasn't exactly a UCS set, and I'd be really interested to see what they could come up with as a modern version of this original Blockade Runner. Cause yeah, while this one might be big, it really doesn't look the greatest. Insert good segue here, the First Order Troop Transporter Battle Pack. I actually really appreciate that they made this one and that it came with a Flame Trooper, because I don't like the sequels, but the Flame Troopers look pretty dope. Also looking kinda dope is the Tracker 1 set from 2017, which I know it was an original LEGO show. I know that nobody really cared about the Freemaker Adventures. I really didn't, but it's a cool looking ship, you gotta admit that. They obviously took a lot of inspiration from the TIE Phantom, and I think it turned out good. And easily the best Droid Escape Pod set that they've made is the 2016 one with 197 pieces, printed windshield, massive stickers, great looking thrust. I think that this is such a good looking escape pod, honestly. And then one of the best playsets they've made, at least on a conceptual level, I think that the Wampa Cave from 2011, or maybe it was 2010, I think it might be 2010, is so awesome. I had this set growing up as a kid. I loved it then, I still love it now, 2 thumbs up from me. I honestly probably should have put this one up a lot higher, and maybe I should have put this one down a little bit lower, but that Darth Maul, dude, that Darth Maul is so sick. He is just legitimately one of the best minifigures ever put into plastic. The Tatooine Battle Pack, on the other hand, if you tell me that I put this too high, I'm not listening. This set gets way too much hate. This is actually a really good battle pack. Number 1, that speeder is sick. Yeah, number 2, getting to amass a lot of Jawas and a lot of sand people is also pretty sick. The original UCS R2-D2, on the other hand, I'm not that much of a fan of. I get that it's a good set, especially for 2012, but it's not my cup of tea. It just looks so rudimentary compared to the newer one that they've got out there. What I actually think would have been my cup of tea had I known it existed back when it came out is the Droid Commander set. I don't get all the hate surrounding this thing. This is actually really cool that you get to put a motor in one of these droids. Somebody explained to me in the comments why this one gets hated on so much. I mean, speaking of motorization, everybody loves the motorized AT-AT Walker, and I mean, objectively, a motorized AT-AT is pretty dang cool, but this one, it just doesn't look the greatest. This one gets to go so high up specifically because of the motorization. This 2013 A-Wing, on the other hand, gets to go up so high because, well, A-Wings just look really cool, man. They're my favorite Rebel starfighter, and this one, while it's not as good as the 2017 model, looks good. And speaking of looking good, I love the black and orange color scheme of Poe's X-Wing. It's just so unique. I think that this, sequel set, whatever, but it actually looks pretty good. And I love that thing that they would do in the mid to late 2010s where they would put little extra speeders or ladders in the starfighter sets. That was just so cool. And speaking of super cool, of course, Slave One is always great to see in LEGO. This one isn't my favorite Slave One for sure. It still looks pretty rudimentary compared to what we have today, but it's not the worst one that they've ever made. I just don't think that it deserves to go any higher than this. Anakin Starfighter from 2018 is definitely the best version of this ship that they've ever made. In terms of shaping, I think that the 2022 Obi-Wan Starfighter does a much better job, but in terms of Anakin's color scheme, this one is the best. I also have quite a bit of nostalgia for the 2015 Skyhopper set. I think that this one doesn't get talked about enough. This one is underrated in my opinion. It's just a really good looking set. 2015 is honestly just such an underrated year. Anyways, maybe I deserve to be ostracized from society for putting this as low as I did, but The original UCS Falcon just doesn't do it for me. You know, it's still a UCS Falcon, it's still a very impressive model, it just doesn't look the best in my opinion. The First Order TIE Fighter with 517 pieces actually does look pretty dang good though. Like, they did a good job with this one, and maybe I'm just going crazy, but it appears that there is a second version of this that came with 533 pieces, so that one obviously we're not counting because it doesn't end in a 7, but the 517 piece one, yeah, looks great. Now this next one I know I'm gonna get crap for, but I think that the ARC 170 from this year gets too much hate. Yeah, I get it. It's downsized and the guns are way too small, but I think that the overall shape of like the ship itself is actually pretty good. Like, I like this set a lot. Another set that doesn't get talked about enough with 927 pieces is the Jedi Defender class cruiser. Like, just as a design in universe, this is such a cool looking ship. There was honestly just a lot of really cool designs in Knights of the Old Republic. I would love to see some remakes of some of this stuff someday. But in the meantime, the rebrickable mock that I made is still pretty good if you want to own this ship ever. Finally, cracking the top 20 here, I've got the 2017 Desert Skiff set. The Sarlacc pit in this thing was just so cool. And the skiff wasn't too bad either, but like the Sarlacc pit, you like controlled it with its tentacles. That was just a cool thing. The Death Star 2 dual diorama is one of the better looking dioramas they've done. I mean, just the techniques that they use to get the shape of the back there is so cool. The Freako Speeder needs no introduction, one of the best Clone Wars sets. And of course, you gotta love the 2014 AT-AT, just such a good set, such a good year. 2014 was awesome. Also a fantastic set was the original UCS Naboo Starfighter. That wasn't really a UCS set, but it came with that gorgeous chrome silver. And call me a moron or whatever, but I think that the UCS B-Wing gets too much hate. The best AAT that they have ever made is the 2009 AAT, and this is arguably the best Clone Wars set that they made at that time too. I just really don't think that many of the 2008-2009 Clone Wars sets aged very well, like at all, but this one is an exception to that. This one aged beautifully. And we can only hope that the 2024 MIDI Scale Invisible Hand ages just as beautifully. I think that it will. I think that this one is going to age pretty well. It's a gorgeous model, absolute 10 out of 10. I'm not sure why I didn't put it up higher. I maybe should. The 2020 General Grievous Starfighter is one of the sleekest Starfighter models that LEGO has ever produced. I am so glad that I was able to swallow that $80 price tag back in 2021 and buy it before it retired, because this is a fantastic model. The Mandalorian Fang Fighter versus TIE Interceptor is a set that I think is going to go down in history as a very, very good set. You know, the first TIE Interceptor in about 2 decades being such a good model is just, this thing has a lot of points going for it. The UCS Razor Crest, while it is definitely an immaculate model, is just, I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit more forgettable than a lot of the other big UCS sets. It's not really my cup of tea, I'll be honest with you. But it is still the UCS Razor Crest, and at least deserves to be in the top 10. I think that us LEGO Star Wars fans remember the Jabba's Palace from 2012 very fondly, and rightfully so. This is a very nice looking Jabba's Palace. It came with a great figure selection. Definitely the best Jabba's Palace they've made, and potentially that they ever will make. Now, I can already hear the jaws dropping, but I will die on this hill. The Jakku Quad Jumper from 2017 is one of the most slept on sets in all of LEGO Star Wars. You guys know me. I love my random citizens and my random citizen vehicles, and this Quad Jumper has arguably the best play feature in all of LEGO Star Wars. Like, this thing needs to get more attention. This is a phenomenal set. I don't understand why everybody just ignores this all the time. I could go on and on about this thing. I love this set. Like, yeah, it's a sequel set, and I know nobody likes the sequels, neither do I, but the best part about this one is you don't really even have to consider it a sequel set, you know? It can just act as some random ship that some random smuggler or bounty hunter owns. It is so fantastic, and the best part about it is that since it is a sequel set, its value has not gone up very much at all on the secondary market. If you have like $75 or $80, go and buy this right now. Okay, well, apologies for that rant, but moving on. The 2014 AT-AP is one of my other all-time favorite sets. I have so much nostalgia for everything that they released in 2014, and this one is my favorite of the bunch. I love this set. Here at number 6, we've got the Ultimate Space Battle, and enough said. This needs no justification for being in the top 10 of every single list that it's in. And as much as it pains me to put this above the 2014 AT-AT, this is objectively so much better than the 2014 one. This is the most accurate Playscale AT-AT that they have ever made, and I really have a hard time seeing how they can improve on this one, aside from maybe hiding some of the Technic there in the legs. But as for number 4, we've got the 2019 Slave 1. This is the best Slave 1 playset that they've ever made, and same deal. I don't know how they could improve upon this. The UCS Y-Wing from 2017, I think, is just one of the all-time most fantastic looking UCS sets that they've ever made. It's seriously one of the most immaculate LEGO Star Wars models out there. This is gorgeous. The Master Builder series Mos Eisley Cantina also needs no introduction. This is a legendary set all across the LEGO Star Wars community, and for similar reasons why I love the Jakku Quad Jumper, I just adore this set. They did such a good job with it. Like, the build looks great and everything, and the minifigures just, chef's kiss. And now, what I think is the best LEGO Star Wars set, whose piece count ends in a 7, the 2015 Imperial Shuttle Tydirium. I'm sure there are dozens of you who are going to be disagreeing with this in the comments, but for a myriad of reasons, this is my all-time favorite LEGO Star Wars set ever. And you know what? This is my video. It's my ranking list, so I'm gonna put it at the top because I love this set. This is my favorite LEGO Star Wars set, guys, and it very well may be my favorite LEGO Star Wars set all the way up until the day I die. It's just, it's so good, so much nostalgia. This rocks. I love this thing. And well, there you have my ranking of every single LEGO Star Wars set whose piece count ends in a 7. Let me know in the comments if this was a good idea and what number I should do next, or if I'm just stupid, which, I mean, I am, but you don't have to say it like that. You can be gentle when you let me know, hey, double check and make sure that all of your brain cells are up in that noggin of yours, crazy dog.